Hi, everybody. It is Stacey, Calder here, and welcome to the Business Success Podcast. As you will see, he's always on brand. I have got, welcome back, Chris Dawes.
It's a pleasure to be back. Hello there.
Do you know what? They won't know this, but let's start with something a bit cheeky. The last time you were on the show, we did this via Zoom. We knew it was going to go out just the audio. They couldn't see what you were doing. And I spent the whole time trying my hardest not to laugh at you because you were being a bit of a prankster.
Yeah, it was. I remember it was 8:00. I think you were recording it in a pub, and we, myself and Lindsay, the other half, the brains of the operation, we were having a cheeky glass of wine in the house while we were recording it, and we forgot. So we'd had a few glasses of wine, so we were really, really enjoying ourselves, and it was fun, and how things have changed, and I just want a cup of tea now. I just want a cup of tea. So
is that Star Wars mug I can see there?
I'm quite happy with a cup of tea. I think I'm getting on now. This business has aged me. Yeah,
I was going to say you've aged in the last. What is it? It's going to be I was going to say about a year, 18 months, but it's
no,
get out. More than that.
More, it's probably about two and a half years, 3 years. Yeah.
Genuinely, I don't know if it's the same for you, but COVID and this whole lockdown, it's almost like time stopped. Like so much has happened and gone on, but when you think back and you go, well, it's only 18 months ago. No, it's not.
And I'm really struggling with general tracking of time at the moment, that I'm having to really double, like when I'm doing project management and stuff like this, and I've usually can sort of envisage the weeks ahead or the days ahead. I have to really look at my calendar a lot more. Is it that date already? Or is it that or that? And stuff that I used to just the understanding of time and what the measuring it, I actually have to clock it a little bit more these days than what I had to. Like silly things like, Christ, my daughter's on half term again already. Where's that come from?
Hang on a minute.
Life things like that. Yeah, send her back. She's only just come back. Get her back. What are you doing?
Let's not talk about kids and lockdown, because I think that almost put us both to. It drove us both to drink, right?
Yeah, I had full air. Yeah.
Oh, very funny. So you were a guest. Wow, like you say, 2-3 years ago now, and I remember back then. I always love interviewing you because, or networking with you or listening to you speak, because you're such a force, and we've got to get the force in there somewhere, haven't we? Diehard Star Wars fan here is Mr. Dawes, but you always come at it with such passion and drive, but with some real words. You're not one of these that takes it out of a book and goes, oh yeah, we'll use that. It's all real life to you. So back then you were talking about how different ideas, and you were going to expand. What's happened? Because obviously lockdown happened. We didn't have that on the radar.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm not going to use lockdown as some sort of things didn't happen because of lockdown. Because
you know what? I'm really pleased you said that, because I was going to say and didn't. There are things I think that you're going to talk about, and I don't think you're going to use lockdown as an excuse.
No, and it's not even family or personal stuff. Well, it is personal stuff that it didn't happen, and it's something that I've when I look at these last things since the last recording, what's changed? Why didn't I achieve certain things, or why did things happen in the way? And this is what I've learned that business owners don't get, and perhaps that I've understood and like to share, that I've actually understood that the reason things didn't happen was because of me, and it was my fault, nobody else's. True story. So when I look at the last podcast recording, so we were about to expand. So we had our core web services, and then we had an additional marketing team that we bring for. Oh, done, like packaged up, ready, go. Yeah, now we're going to sell this. Now we're going to do this. All looks great on paper. We're going to make more money for doing not a lot. Wow, fantastic. But here's the thing: I wasn't ready. And what I mean by I wasn't ready, I wasn't, frankly, a good enough business owner. I hadn't gone through my own journey as a person to understand who I had to be professional enough and to be right enough to be a proper business owner, to do things right. And what I mean by that is, when we start off as business owners, we're all a bit almost slack and casual about things in how we operate, and be mates and do this and do that. And the amount of times that I was told, oh, you need to get your processes right, you need to do that. What are these people on about? I just build websites and I sell them out. Why is it got to be more complicated as that? But they were completely correct in that. So I've had to totally shift how I operate, how I look at myself, how I conduct myself with my clients and my opportunities, to allow myself to have a lot stronger grounding and framework for Scruffy Monkey before I can then proceed to that next level. And I just wasn't ready. And that's okay. That's actually a really positive thing to recognize. Do you know what? I'm not there yet, because a lot of people are, so wanting to rush things through and grow and get these additional services and get it. Well, unless you've got everything absolutely nailed, absolutely 100% working correct, why are you going to bring more variables into the equation and more work? And is it right for you? They were bringing in amazing company, but what they were doing is they were bringing in their own way of doing things, their own processes. Well, it's my business, and their values and their beliefs might not be aligned to you. So they might just be talking about money and profit and wanting to do this and want to do that. Yeah, do you know what that has a cost of? Time. Whose time? Mine. Am I willing to give it? No. Right, so it's a no-go. I didn't know how to understand myself and what was important to me, and the process that I had to go through to achieve that. So now that I'm able to add services on, it's because I've got my process right, and I understand that it's my rules that people follow when they're working for me in my business, because I'm in charge ultimately, and Lindsay, and they have to follow my processes and not the other way around. And you've got to get to that point. So many people, quite frankly, to use a term off a friend of ours, dick about. They dick about. Whereas I was almost too lax in my early days with clients. It was too easy for them, and now it fucking isn't. Now it's, these are the rules, these are the processes. You will follow them, because you have to be a business owner if you want to grow, and that's what I've had to do.
And that's you're absolutely right. And we talk, you just mentioned there about the dicking about and stuff. And there's something I talk about with my clients quite a lot is, would you have paid yourself for the work today? Would you? Because and we talked about this earlier. Some people, success, they want to work 4 days a week, they want to work 3 days a week. Fine. You've still got to have those processes. In fact, you need those processes even more to get you to that point.
Exactly.
But there are days where, and I get it. We sit in front of the laptop and we think, today is just not happening. There's your head's not in it, whatever it is. You're feeling like you're running through treacle. But it's the following day that you've then got to show up and you've got to do what you've got to do.
Exactly. There's days where I don't want to show up, where I have to show up. And that's never ever going to change. I've got an appointment. Someone's booked in a Calendly meeting for a meeting on Friday. Friday. Oh, yeah, Friday afternoon. I've got to talk about an e-commerce project. Right, brilliant. But then I go up and say, "Can we swear?" I'm trying not to swear here. Trying not to be, then I have to have a word with myself. You ungrateful beep. What, someone wants to potentially give you quite a bit of money for an e-commerce project, and you're not willing to show up on a Friday afternoon? Got to have a bit of real talk with yourself at times and go, "Oh, who are you? You've got to put in a few extra hours. Have a word with yourself." You've got to do that as particularly as business owners. Do you know what? Sometimes it does require that extra effort to get the benefit, that flip benefit. So today, 9 o'clock. I didn't start work at 9 o'clock. I started it at 10 because at 9 o'clock I was watching Boba Fett, because that was more of a priority to me this morning, right?
You had to get it in.
I had to get some Star Wars in. But the point is, I understand that means I'll be working later at another point. That's called self-management, self-leadership, whatever you want to call it.
No, you're absolutely right. 100% agree. There is a real, when you start out in business, and there will be people listening that are just starting out, we've seen lockdown is, it's creating lots and lots of people jumping into business thinking they can do it.
Yeah.
And actually they do it because they don't want the time scale. They don't want the bosses. but you've got to be your own boss. You've got to be that, you know, you are your own employer kind of thing, and you've got to have that mindset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm more. Do you know what? I think genuinely in the past 3 months, for various reasons, I've come to a point where I'm more aware than ever of my strengths, but more importantly, my weaknesses. And I've acknowledged what they are, and I understand that it's okay to have them. And do you know what? They probably won't go away, some of them, but that's okay. And for you to have those weaknesses in the business, it doesn't mean you need to necessarily work on them. You need to plug them in a different way for extended team members or whatever, and not to sort of punish yourself for it or try and work your way through it. You know, keep bashing against those problems or things that you're not very good at or whatever. It's kind of more important to just acknowledge and understand that you're not going to enjoy those things or be happy doing those things, but that doesn't mean they're not relevant and there isn't a solution for
Absolutely. We've got Kellyanne in the team, who is a VA. She's fantastic, and I remember her doing a speaking gig once, and she said when you go into business, there's actually you go into business for the one thing that you do, web design, you know, creative, whatever it is. Me, like to talk lots, big people up, brilliant for me. What I'm not necessarily is, you know, XYZ. I can't web design, for instance. Guess who I come to? That kind of thing. She was saying that actually it's Chris, by the way, if you didn't know that. He is our web design expert in the network. But actually what she was saying is there's something like 64 different roles that as a business owner you have to take on. You're not a VA, so it is about plugging those gaps, knowing your strengths, but also knowing what you enjoy, because nobody wants to get up and do the things that they hate, that takes hours, when somebody else can do it for 30 minutes.
Do you know what? I'll be, you know me, I'm not afraid to be a bit controversial, so we'll just get it out there now. So I do a lot of, you know, understanding that it's me that needs working on more than the business, right? And that's the same for all business. I don't give a shit what your business is or what you're trying to achieve. That's the case. No matter what problem you've got, it's more about you than it actually is your business. And what I've understood, you know, I love personal development and you know, the groups that I'm in and I devour like a lot of content and books and studying, and I've come to my own conclusions about personal development and what's right and what isn't. And then I made a conclusion based on everything that I've learned about personal development, because I'm classing myself at the end of my personal development journey. Actually, I'm actually more about business development now. I feel like I'm kind of done. And my ultimate conclusion was, which some will disagree with, and that's okay, is I'm sick of people talking about success, full stop. Full stop. Success is never the aim. It is never the thing that you should be aiming for, ever. It is happiness that you should be aiming for every single time that you have. So are you happy as a business owner in what you're
Can you see my big grin here? Because
Yeah.
you're leading on to where, keep
right.
going.
Are you happy in what you're doing? Yes or no? Right. Because if you're not happy and you're doing it, you're never going to have success. Happiness leads to success, whatever that is, comes from happiness. And you've got to be happy in the now. I'm sick, you know, I'm sick of the word success is where I'm at, because it's...
He says on a business success podcast.
No, but I get what that is. I get the business connotation and why it's used, but I'm on about life and business because it's the same thing, because it's all interconnected, and that, you know, people have to focus on that. If you're happy in what you're doing in your business day, I can say it 100%, call it woo-woo or whatever you want, or guess what? If you're happy with what you do, you're going to get more clients, you're going to make more money, and it's going to lead to more success. Done. That is my conclusion. All my years of reading all the content, consuming everything, speaking everything, that's the answer.
Chris doesn't need to write a book. He's summed it up in one sentence.
Great. Gratitude, acceptance, patience equals happiness, which equals success, and then it loops back round. Done.
Should we end that here now?
Done. That's it.
That's it. We're done. 14 minutes into a podcast that's going to last 20 minutes.
That's my conclusion. That is my conclusion after listening to everybody that I've listened to, and I love them all. I absolutely, you know how much I love and care for my mentors in my life, Cross, Brad, everyone that I've heard speaking. But it's about I'm in the position where I'm at the end of that kind of phase where. Do you know what? These are my rules. These are what I'm following. This is what I've learned, and I now have the confidence to take that forward in my life. And I'm not the same in terms of, although I've shared it here with you, I don't actively look to share it now because it's something else that I've learned that it's fucking irrelevant what you say. It's totally irrelevant to a certain extent because people have to go on their own journey to get there.
And you've been on an incredible journey since we last spoke, and I think, and it's been really, as somebody who, we probably speak maybe once a week, but we're in very similar circles. We've got same mentors, all those different things. You're one of the experts. We could pick up the phone, we can send voice notes, whatever it is. Let's face it, I got you into voice notes.
I love them now, mate. I'd use them all the time. Yeah.
Top tip though, voice notes. It gives that tone of voice rather than a blank message.
Do you know what? It's a little bit more personal. You can create that connection. I find them quicker. It's quicker to do. I don't have to think about it. My typing's crap, so it gets around that. Brilliant.
There you go. Everybody needs a Stacey Calder or a Crystal voice note. But going back to it, so a couple of years ago, you were not at the end of your personal development journey. However, you were like you say, you were really into it. We were going to different development days, all that kind of thing, and you were kind of putting yourself out there. You were happy to, you wanted to be on stage more. You wanted to be on some podcasts. You were really getting yourself out there, and I think you have been on a journey. You've done that side of it. You could continue to do that side of it, and I have no doubt that you would be on a stage with thousands of people clapping you and all that kind of thing. But I know there's been stuff going on this year that's kind of made you reevaluate whether that was important or not.
God. Huge. We've lost 3 major people in 12, 13 months or something. I had an auntie and uncle who passed away in space of 6 weeks. I was literally sat next to my uncle. They're not the husband and wife. It was fucking whatever the family hierarchy is. I was sat next to him watching my auntie being buried. 6 weeks I was carrying his coffin. I'd carried both coffins, and I'd reached the end of the limit, the edge, my edge where I actually had to say for the first time, can't take it. But like fucking, I'm done. And I actually took time out. People probably didn't see that. But I had to, I was living in my fucking onesie for weeks, and people didn't see it. But I just business carried on and things carried on, but I just couldn't get my head round things, and it was a really important and relevant time that it's connected to everything that I've told you today, because it allowed me a true time of reflection of what the fucking hell am I doing? Like genuinely, why the fuck are we doing this thing? I climbed my mountain. I've got a successful business. I've got the fucking life that I want. What? And you're telling me, Chris, you're gonna start to go on another adventure with fucking speaking and doing all this, and whether we like it or not, it has an effect on you. I'm adding more variables in the equation that I don't need to have. So it emotionally takes from you when you're speaking. I'm speaking about some quite personal things, and because that's who I am, and that's what I have to do. And it'd be time away from the family. It'd be, I promised I wasn't going to do that when I started this bloody thing, right? I've been handed the golden ticket. I've took the fucking golden ticket, and I want to give it away to speak in front of people that I don't know and who aren't going to listen to me anyway, or just take some. Do something for a fucking couple of weeks, then reset and go back to how they used to be. I'm not going to do it. I refuse to do it. I have full respect for people who are speakers. But if the speakers and they do it, it's a full-time job and they need to go through that. And that's the life that they need to lead. But I'd rather have the success and the life that I have now. And, some people go, oh, fucking, oh, yeah, I knew he won't fucking do it or whatever. Oh, he's done that and then he hasn't done it. I couldn't give a shit. Because the people that are saying that, 9 times out of the 10 are the ones that hasn't got the success in my life that I have. And it's about awareness that comes back to gratitude. That's fucking happiness, that's success. And that's what it is.
There you go. And if you don't like the F-bombs, I'm really sorry, but
I'm sorry.
We'll put an explicit content
We're
on
all friends here.
We're all friends here. If you've come across this on Apple or Android and you don't know us, hey, jump into the Business Success Network.
It would be me. And that's although, I speak passionately and all that, the something that I picked up on when we were at Now What. So we were asked to do 10 minutes, so I did 10 minutes. And this isn't a negative, but it's something that I had to really think about. That everyone was expecting swearing and shouting, and they joke about it, and they want that. And like, God, if only you knew the reality. Actually, I'm actually not like that at all when I'm in the house, and like, God, you know what I'm really like? And like, I'm speaking like this because of how much I care about the people. And like, but I've had to come to the conclusion that it's not my responsibility to help everyone. It's just not.
And I really love what you say there about, because Now What Live was a brilliant environment.
Yeah.
It was full of business owners that we've kind of grown with and developed with. And I was there when you did that 10 minutes. And I was also there when you did a previous one up in Blackpool. And that's how you got your reputation of being like this angry motivational swearing. Actually, and you say people were expecting the swearing and they were expecting this. And I don't know if it's because kind of we'd had conversations before.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wasn't expecting it. I was really pleased that it wasn't that. It was more raw. It was more emotional. And I think that's when we get the golden Chris.
Yeah.
I can tell that you're not a sweary person. But I also know that when you're passionate, it's like
exactly. But passion is people just see passion as a positive thing. It can actually be a real negative. It's a total double-edged sword, and you've got to wield it properly. But I'm far more zen about things. Of late. So I'm not as active on social media as what I once was, because I'm just not. And
what happens when you got processes, though, right?
It's still going on. No, it's just I'm value. I understand that how important my personal time is to me, and actually what is important and what actually keeps me happy is building my models and doing all that, and right, what do I actually want to? What makes me happy? That.
And I'm pleased you said what makes me happy, not what is success, because that I always ask this question to my guests, which is, what does success look like to you? Now, interestingly, and I know you're not going to say money or whatever, because we've just had this conversation about happiness. As I've said, I've been doing some podcasting days today. So previous episodes, I was chatting with David Heffernan.
Right.
And I asked him, and he gave this beautiful conversation. If you haven't seen the podcast, go and watch it. But I said to him, I ask this and no one ever says money. We talk about success. You say you're sick of hearing it. Sorry, apologies. I'm not going to change my business name. However,
you know what I was saying. You know what I was saying. Yeah,
I know. I absolutely get it, because success is different for everyone. So I am going to ask you, I think I know the answer, but for the listeners and the people that are watching on YouTube, what is success to you?
Not thinking about it.
There you go.
That's it.
I love it. When you don't chase it.
Nope. If you're not, I don't think about success. I think about being happy. That's it.
So success.
Honestly, I'm just breaking these. So what I've learned with my mentoring that I have every week, working on my mindset and my business with Cross, is we're traditionally thought that life and business is an incredibly complicated thing, and everything we're taught from families and external parties and whatever. But when we break it down, it's incredibly simple. So, you know, it's not about complicated answers or theoretical answers or big pie in the sky answers. It's actually about really simple answers at times. And that's the simple answer. To not have to think about it, not to think, am I successful? Not even thinking like that. I genuinely don't. You know, God, I'm happy. I've enjoyed myself this week. We've had a good week. Brilliant. That's it. It's not fucking hell, I'm a success. Fuck off.
This is the Chris Dawes that I love. When you no, it is, because
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong, I love the passion
Yeah.
and I love the F bombs, and we see that, but not every day do we see where you just, like you say, just suddenly your tone changes, you go quite calm. To me, it shows you are in that state of happiness, and what you're saying, you are completely at home with what you're saying. There's, like you said, you're not picking it out of a book. You're not.
Yeah, I've really, it's the thing. I feel like it's almost like I've come full circle, actually. I know I'm changed, but I've almost reverted back to where I was, and then it's like I've come back to those original values, but with
with
all
that
the
extra
that's it. With
knowledge.
that's it, exactly that. Where I've got right. Oh, cool, I've got it now. And I don't think it's a coincidence that after I've returned after Christmas to work, that my business is flying now. I mean flying. Like all the stuff that I'd had on hold, all the stuff, like CRM, all the stuff that kind of like CRMs and all that sort of done. All like, right, let's do this, let's do that, let's do that. But not because I'm grafting, because I'm happy in what I'm doing. I'm grateful for it. I know I can achieve it. I know I can do it. I've got a great support network with me around it, and I can just enjoy it. And that's it. So all that's done, and we're getting loads of sales. Not because I'm going, oh, I'm a success. It's because, let's have a picture on the flipping pontoon in front of the lake with my hands up like that, punching the sky and all that. It's, do you know what? This is great. I'm dead happy as a business. Look at what we've achieved. Look at where we're going. Brilliant. And because I'm grateful and I'm happy, it means I'm going to get more.
And we can't end this without mentioning Lindsay.
Yes.
As you say, the brains of the operation.
Totally.
One day I will get her on a podcast and I will interview her.
She's getting better. She's getting better for sure.
She is. Yeah. We did do the joint live in the pro group not long ago, but she must see this change in you. This whole, you were going to do this and you were going to do that, the speaking, and actually just this contentment now, really.
Yeah, Lindsay never wanted it for me. She never. Lindsay's always right. Lindsay's always a few steps ahead of the game. Don't you worry about that. But Lindsay, I'm sure you get it with your other half, or it might be the other way around. I don't know that she understands sometimes. She'll just give me that nod that she knows. Go, yeah, I told you so. But she understands at times that she needs to let me go on my own little journey to come to that conclusion myself. Get it out of your system type thing. Let's get out of his system, let him do it, and then take it from there. And I think actually we're in a good space personally, is the way I'd put it. Although we're obviously we're together a lot as husband and wife and business owners and stuff, but because I'm more relaxed in my work, and we're actually spending a lot more. I don't want to say I don't want to say happier time, because it's the wrong thing to say. It just feels like we're communicating a little bit more and on a little bit more of a personal level than because I was a little bit. It's only now that I'm not in that position that I understand that. I think things consumed me more than what I thought. I was constantly thinking about work more than I actually acknowledged I was.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about the next idea or the next thing or the next deadline or whatever, whether I admitted it or not. And then particularly when and then you add your speaking element in it, the things that I was thinking of from a speaking, I'm bringing life experience, or I've been some quite raw things like a lot of people have been through, and sharing that, it alters your emotional state. It cannot not affect you and what you're thinking and what you think. And it was wrong. It affects your life and it brings you down, and it affects the mood. So removing all that, I think, has just been a general positive all over. So again, that's why I'm careful. Like, for me, social media is a prime example that it can feed a bit of negativity in your life if you're not careful. All everyone's got an opinion on social media and all that sort of stuff, and you can get sucked into it if you've not disciplined for it. So I've just said, do you know what? I can actually step away from that and just jump in and have a bit of fun with it, and step out with it and just use it. So I think I'm just become a little bit more self-disciplined on that front, and just enjoying it a little bit more.
I'm very aware. Chris, I could chat to you all day. I really could. And we could put the world to rights on most things.
Yeah.
We never even talked about websites, like.
I guess you want one, gives a shout.
You are our web design, our web creative. You and Lindsay, because you always tell me she's the technical
if it's anything complicated, it's Lindsay. If it's making it look beautiful, it's me. That's how it works. Yeah,
that is how it works. And absolutely, when we went through that process, it was brilliant to see. You are Scruffy Monkey. You are the chief monkey. Bless you. Apart from the Business Success Network community, then the Facebook group, where can they find you?
Funnily enough, we've got a website, www.scruffymonkey.co.uk. Email is direct@info@scruffymonkey.co.uk. You can find us on all social medias @scruffymonkeydm. Connect with me on LinkedIn, all that jazz.
LinkedIn.
Yeah,
love it. Yeah. Brilliant. Chris, it's always a pleasure. I'm sure. Let's get you booked in for another 3 months, and we'll think of something else to put the worlds to rights.
Yeah, I'll probably have like a Buddhist monk outfit on or something next time.
Yeah, we've been through the Chewy onesie. we've mentioned Boba Fett today, so maybe in the future it'll be Obi-Wan or something. There'll be something, won't there?
Hey, it will be as well. Yeah, May Obi-Wan, nice one.
There we go. Chris, thank you ever so much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
You are welcome.